Subreddit icon r/askreddit posted BYU flowers for life. What is the most painful experience you had in your life and how did you get through it? And Ethiopia. Gallstones. Man, they hurt so much, and before I had a diagnosis the pain came out of nowhere and I couldn't figure out what caused it. I went to A&E 3 times before they could figure it out what it was. One of the times I was being driven by my wife and I was vomiting with the sheer pain out of the car window while in transit. Edit. Got through it with pain meds and then had my gallbladder removed. God bless the NHS. Magpire, I feel you. Mine got severely infected and leaked bile into my body cavity while being full of stones. Jesus square dance and Christ, it was bad. I spent 4 months in hospital and now have a 14-inch scar across my upper abdomen. I was on morphine every 2 hours for 4 months. How I didn't get addicted I don't know, but I didn't. I almost died and was totally ready for it. Death would have been better than that. Fudgy cheese. Breaking up with my first love and losing my grandpa at the same time. That was 2 to 4 months ago and I'm more suicidal than ever now. But I get up every day, so eggs and hate. Sorry for your loss. Keep getting up. Amazoni. Deleting my original Reddit account when someone local found out it was me. My casa. Stress-induced panic attack. I was sweating, I felt numb but tingly everywhere, hot, cold, had difficulty speaking and breathing, couldn't walk, and all of that whilst thinking I was about to either die right then and there or live the rest of my life crippled. It was horrifying. Level 1 Josepher 71. Physically? Breaking both my legs. My parents were very supportive, helping me heal. Learning to walk again was the hardest part. Mentally? Being told in middle school that most people thought I was going to grow up to be a serial killer or rapist. I didn't deal with it well until I moved out of that town. Roaming hobo. I had a broken molar with the nerves exposed for about 2 weeks. That was painful enough. One night, while working my graveyard security guard shift, I had had enough of the pain. I got the bright idea that if I can't beat the pain then I'll just numb the pain. So I go into our break room, pour a glass of nearly freezing water from the cooler and dump the cup directly onto my broken tooth. Cut to a fully grown man, wearing an armed security guard uniform, curled up in the fetal position on his desk calling his dad, begging him to bring anything to fix this at 2 a.m. in the morning. I cried the rest of the shift until those meds kicked in. Fuck, that hurt. It's just me, Zyok. Mental illness. Heavy medication is pulling me through. 420 Dementia Boy _69. 2 puppies of my dog both died in my arms. We went to the vet but it still wasn't treating them and it got much worse. I just had to move on from it, but I still think about it from time to time. Lizzie 6692. It's a toss-up between when I am fairly certain I had kidney stones. I say fairly certain because by the time I gave in and went to the hospital, they couldn't find anything, but based on the location of the pain and a couple other things, the doctor said that's most likely what it was, and when I had to take misoprostol for a missed miscarriage. If you know what a contraction feels like, imagine that pain, for 4 hours straight, no time in between, like during a normal labor. It was so bad that I couldn't take the second dose and I had to go in for DNC to make sure everything had been passed. And obviously the latter came with a lot of mental/emotional pain as well. I got through the former by going to the hospital where they gave me Percocets. I got through the physical pain of the latter by sitting in a bath because water was the only thing that made the pain any better. I was not given anything to help with the pain. The emotional part? Therapy and antidepressants. Level 1 Ghost Pigs. I had an ovarian cyst that burst. It felt like someone had taken red-hot needle-nosed pliers and was twisting my ovary. Also couldn't stop puking. Called an ambulance and spent 36 hours in the hospital in a morphine-induced haze. Got discharged and I was super weak. Couldn't walk or stand for more than a minute. Had to sleep sitting upright because trying to lay down on my back or side was agonizing. Of course this was the last week of my old job/first week of my new job. 3rd day of my new job. Despite prescription pain meds, I was feverish and couldn't even push myself around in a chair, so I left early and drove myself to urgent care where they immediately called an ambulance and sent me back to the hospital. Needed some industrial strength antibiotics but I made a full recovery. This happens every 3 to 4 years, but that was by far the worst incident. Imbids. Incredible stomach cramps and rashes that persisted for at least 1 month before I realized I had a wheat intolerance. Genuinely think I have some sort of trauma from the whole debacle because it all happened when I was 8 or 9 and I recently felt the exact same stomach cramp and it was easily the most painful thing I've ever felt. I got through it by waiting for time to pass by.